So, Sangat we've got a really brilliant organisation here with us today, Atam Academy. So, you want to introduce karonge sade guests so we can find out a bit more about what they do. And I guess even if the CV you want to get involved, they can let you know more information. So, thank you for coming to Sikh Channel. We're really I feel humbled to have you here today. If you could introduce yourself, Baji, your name and what you do, and a bit about the organisation.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Mankamal Singh, and I'm the Chair of Governors for the Atam Academy, and also the co-founder. So the Atam Academy is a free school academy. It's a Sikh faith school, and it's based in East London, in the London Borough of Redbridge. And we were involved in successfully putting an application in and securing an application for the full funding of a all-through school, which is a primary school and a secondary school. Once the Atam Academy reaches full capacity, it's a school with around 1,300 pupils and a staff of 100. So it's a pretty big institute. And there's a lot of work going on at the moment to get there.
Thank you. And Baji, yourself, if you can introduce yourself.
My name is Tasveer Singh. Worked with Mankamal Singh, my brother, so both of us have been working on this project for at least, it's been a good 5 years of our life, really. So it's been from fruition all the way to where we are now in the temporary site. My role within the school, I'm the academy director. So I'm a non-executive director who sits on the Khalsa Academies Trust, which is the overarching trust which runs the school, and then also within the overall governance structure of the school, I'm also the chair of the resource committee. So based on my background, which is finance, I support the school in terms of the financial support which it requires. That's
brilliant. And Baji, what does Atam Academy offer the children?
Well, I mean, Atam Academy offers the children within East London, not just Redbridge. It offers parents choice. That's one big thing to think about. It's the fact that we're a community that's been around in London for about 70 years. And in those 70 years, we've progressed, but we haven't really got our institutes. We may have our gurdware, but we haven't got educational establishments. Under the guise of Punjabi schools within gurdware, we probably thought we ticked that box, but the reality we felt as parents ourselves, and many other people of our generation felt, that the gurdware were really struggling to educate the next generation at the kind of level of education that was required. Punjabi for the next generation we have to accept the fact that it's diluting, and it's less and less likely that it's a spoken language. And unless we address that issue, we will lose Punjabi altogether. So Atam Academy, I think in the first instance, our aim was to teach Punjabi in the form of a modern foreign language. And we wanted to bring it into the Gurdwara, but we struggled to probably get the people to understand why we wanted to deliver Punjabi that way, rather than the traditional method, which made an assumption that everyone speaks Punjabi at home. So that was the first. And then Sikh values, which are universal values, which underpin the school. And if you have a school which is underpinned by good values, that influences behaviour, that influences attitude to education, and if you have that in the background, then it makes education and the delivery of education so much more powerful.
Thanks, Baji. But before,
Atam Academy ਕਰੀਏ ਜਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਕਾਹਤੋਂ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਇਦਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਤਮ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਵੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ?
I mean, really, it's one of those things. It's a lot of things in Sikh, a lot of things which Sikhs have promoted have been spur of the moment. So for us, it was really a spur of the moment situation scenario as well. So where we were quite late to understand how the free school application works. So some of the other areas around the country, Birmingham, the Midlands as well, they really managed to understand this free school and how you can go to the government and put forward your ethos to run a school and get funding from the government. We were quite late to understand how we could benefit from that. So in that way, we're probably one of the later Sikh schools which have opened in the area. But in that, it took us some time to understand. Once we understood, we thought, this has to be something which, as a community, for us, personally, it's an achievement, not as an individual achievement, but for a community achievement. To know now that Sikhs have, obviously after third or fourth generation, are now able to have an input in the education of this country, the educational system of this country. That was probably something which we thought as individuals from our backgrounds, from professional, financial backgrounds, or any kind of working with, work day-to-day lives, which are relatively, we're within the community now, within institutes and everything. If we cannot deliver something, the next step of where Sikhs would like, the idea of seva needs its next step as well, and the next step is probably, was the thought of let's get into the institutes and let's now see how Sikhs can influence or add a Sikh flavour to education.
And probably back to Panji's question about how did we get into the seva. So Sikh ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ 2004 ਤੋਂ we've been involved ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ 'ਚ. So ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੇਵਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ 'ਚ ਭਾਵੇਂ कैंप होंदी सी या कोई भी एक्सटर्नल एक्टिविटी ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਵੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ 'ਚ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲਈ ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ 2004 'ਚ ਸਿੱਖੀ 'ਚ ਆਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਔਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਸਿੱਖੀ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਤਾਂ ਸੀਗੀ ਤਸਵੀਰ 1999 'ਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਯੂ ਟੂ ਕਮ ਵਿਦ ਇਨ 1999 300 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ 2004 'ਚ ਟੁਕ ਮੈਨੂੰ 4-5 years to come back
ਹੁਣ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹਾ ਮਨਕਮਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਲਾਈਵ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਅੱਜ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵੇਟ ਕਰੀਏ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣੀਏ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਸਮੇਂ ਲਈ
पतिते उदारिया दया के दयाल मोहे पतिते उदारिया दया के दयाल मोहे पतिते उदारिया दया के दयाल मोहे पतिते उदारिया
ਇੱਥੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਰ ਲਈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੁਣ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਸੀਗੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਸਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੇਤੀ ਲਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਨਾ ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਗਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਗੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਤਮ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਮ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਆਤਮਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਤਮ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਤਮ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ
ਦੇਖੋ ਜਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਸੇਵਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੋਂ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਾਕੋ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਲਾਗੋ ਇਸ ਜੁਗ ਮੇਂ ਸੋ ਕਹੇ ਥੇ ਸੂਰਾ ਆਤਮ ਜਿਨੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਸਤਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਕਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪੂਰਾ so again that was from there then we thought the best thing the best word which we thought was relevant within that talk was Atam. So Atam, the idea of Atam, it's a universal thing, isn't it? The idea of a soul or a conscience or an inner being or something like that. Everybody will be able to relate to that. So even if you're, in religion, the concept of the soul exists. Even if you're an atheist, the concept of your conscience still exists. Some kind of inner being, and that's what we wanted to sort of. We thought that would be a great idea. That sort of reflects what kind of school we want to create here, where the children. We're able to create those rounded children who are able to give back to society, live within morals, promote those morals and those self-beliefs really.
And Raji, that leads to my next question because you know what, that's a really lovely explanation that you've given on that for people that are not aware of what Atam means. But then my next question is, what makes Atam Academy different then to what's already out there, or is there anything out there that's similar to that? If you could emphasise a bit on that, please.
Again, let's not. We are a Sikh faith school, and I wouldn't want to differentiate ourselves from any of the other Sikh faith schools which are out there. So we're not saying that we're any better than any of the Sikh faith schools. We're a very small startup. We're in very small startup position for all Sikh faith schools. So we've got a lot to give back to society. You think about other faith schools have had 200 years establishment in this country. We have to achieve what they've achieved within the next 5 to 10 years. So there's a lot for us to do. And I'm not saying we're any different or we're any greater. We're all in the same, and we're all working together to present that same thing. But at the end of the day, the morals of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the morals of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, I mean, you just read Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Bani from there, and it's so universal.
Yeah,
and it's so inspiring that we don't even need to say anything more than that. If a Sikh school promotes that,
that's it.
It's even beyond British values. We are really talking about integration in society. So these are the kind of things which I think schools need to. Schools do promote. There's no doubt there's promotion of those kinds, but there's always a different element in a faith school. The faith school does focus more on the child, and that's what parents. When we went out there as well, it's not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
And we're not saying that we're the greatest school, but we're giving that choice to a parent that this is a faith school, and the faith school. When a parent thinks about a faith school, it's about a school which supports their child. It's not about creating a person who's confident or super strong or ready to go out there in this world, and make loads of money. But it's about creating a rounded individual who's wanting to give back to society, which is something which is so important for Sikhs. We didn't get into Sikhi for personal gain.
Exactly.
We're in the concept of seva. If that's ingrained within, once that gets into your mind and into your soul,
it's true.
It's about giving back, and that's all it's about, really.
ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਟਾਊਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਮਨਕਮਲ ਹੁਣੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਾਗੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਟਰਗਲਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸੇਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਟੇਜ ਦੋ ਤੋਂ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਟਰਗਲਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੀਗੀ 1 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਖੋਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ
building the car, and it was there's a lot of complications as well. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ funding ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਸੀ. We passed the application. What about you have to find the space, you have to recruit the children. It's a lot of work, you know. So Jagavi, you know, we had to identify a space. Recruiting children, you know, and speaking to parents when a school doesn't exist. These parents have put a lot of trust in the whole concept of the school. They bought the vision, really, and that we sometimes feel that pressure on us.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਾਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
And these parents have been amazing. The parents who have sent their children to Atam Academy, I mean, you know, we're in awe of them because they've got so much faith and confidence in the project, you know, and the staff who've recruited outstanding staff members who, it's challenging. It's a new school. Nothing exists.
This is it.
And these members of staff have come on board and they're developing all of this and they're working with those challenges. We've got an amazing head teacher, Ms. Bryony Freeman. You know, she's calm and, you know, the way she's taken this project forward and developing the primary school. Everyone really, we have a minibus service that we're running at the moment from pickup points within Redbridge and Barking and Dagenham. People in Ilford have probably seen the bus driving around. We've got great bus drivers, you know, who support us.
That's really good.
What you learn in these, especially in the school environment, that it's all really important. So from, I don't mean in bad, I know it's cliche, but from the cleaner to the bus driver all the way to the head, if they're not working, and you know, one of those cogs come out of the wheel, then the school really doesn't work. The school really does suffer. So it's not about us. I mean, we've taken it to the point. You know, a lot of the work we did was after work on the weekends, writing, you know, working on the bids, working with other individuals. But these are it's all about now where it's going in the directions when it's the staff have actually put their heart and soul into the school. And
the volunteers.
And the volunteers,
We can't forget that we get a lot of volunteers. Our Sikh studies by two sisters who've supported us and you know on a voluntary basis.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਬਿਲਡ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਈ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਤਮ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਆ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਓਪਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਛੋਟੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਹਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ
ਹਜੇ ਸੀ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਇਟਸ ਇਨ ਰੈਡਬ੍ਰਿਜ ਕਾਲਜ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ 2 ਸਾਲ ਲਈ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ we're in the site behind Redbridge College. It's a 5.5 acre site.
ਉੱਥੇ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਹਾਂ
ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਹਜੇ planning is in the process at the moment. Redbridge Council nalia, so it's going through planning process at the moment. They constantly, we're working with the planners to make sure that issues arise on there. You know, we're straight away trying to resolve those situations. You know, residents and everyone's going to have certain concerns. One of the concerns are traffic there, they all sara kuch par jida sanu support milya Gurdwara Karam sir to we've got a lot of support, so ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੀ support ਕਾਫੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ. Other organizations as well, non-Sikh as well, Salvation Army, Gurdwara Singh Sabha London East judge ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ in the committee. They supported us 2012 ਦੀ ਤੇ 14 ਦੀ committee ਤੇ 2014 ਤੋਂ 16 ਦੀ committee. Those two committees gave us a lot of support. Rosebery Avenue Gurdwara, all of them,
and in a lot of the local sporting groups, so the Singh Sabha Football Club as well. So you know, the whole feel of the school again, we are pushing on that sport side as well. So our planning, our new site or our permanent site will have really great sports facilities. So we're talking about a full-size football pitch which is drained as well. So for example, if it does rain, it doesn't become all muddy and waterlogged. Literally within an hour or so you can play again. We've got the sports halls, we've got Muga pitches. So again, all those kind of sporting facilities or activities which might happen scattered throughout the year, so we can now bring all those organizations into one place and they can really take advantage of that on a weekend basis or something.
I mean, I'd like to know as well, what's the feedback from parents as well that are, you know, obviously sending their children to the school? Like, what's the feedback from all the workers? What was your overall? I
mean, the feedback has been great and it's been positive from the parents. The morning at the moment, our Atam Academy, once it's fully built, will have a Darbar Sahib in there. So we'll have a Darbar Sahib and our children will be coming in and be involved in assemblies scattered throughout the day where, you know, that will be the core part of their day. And we're aiming and we're hoping that we're aspiring that these children will take responsibility of the Darbar Sahib themselves, from the Hukamnama, Shabad, all the sevas involved. Parents so far have been very supportive at the moment because of the size of the site. The Sikh studies is done on a Thursday afternoon. and then the rest of the day we have Sikhi in the form of ardas before they go to have lunch, and various different Simran sessions. We do Santya in there as well. We're teaching Gurbani Santya as well through the Guru Granth Sahib Ji Academy syllabus from Malaysia as well. So they've given us that syllabus. I mean, it's funny, one of the parents, she's a Benji that we've known for a long time. She set up and she goes, my child comes home and tells me the 10 gurus' names. And she goes, Baji, I don't even know the 10 gurus' names myself.
Really?
So parents, you know, they feel so really empowered that their children are exceeding their expectations.
Exactly.
And that's what we want. You know, it's just like when my children do kirtan, I've never done kirtan, but your dreams and your aspirations are in the next generation.
This is the thing.
And that's what Atam's about. Atam Academy is about the next generations. Our dreams, our aspirations, the mistakes we made, we hope they're not made by the next generation and they feel more empowered.
Yeah, exactly.
ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਸਿਰਫ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੌਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ 3 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਿਲ ਜਵੇ ਹਨਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ
I mean ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ from Hindu background ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ and we also got a British boy as well, so
really?
For us I know it's a handful, but from where we started to where we want that our aspiration, so the aspiration of the trust, the Khalsa Academy's trust across the board is to have schools which have 50% children from Sikh backgrounds, 50% from non-Sikh. So that's a real aspiration which we have. And regardless of what government policies come in and whether they allow different percentages in faith schools, we will still drive towards that. That's really important for us. Without that, I don't think we can feel that we've created a school which is going to impact impact the community or society.
And the thing is, through that as well, you're showing the whole oneness, that we are all one, because you haven't just got Sikh children, obviously registered to come to school. But I'd like to know, you know, for those parents, say from the child who's a Hindu background or from an English background, what was their parents' reason to choose this school?
Primarily, there are similarities in culture. So, for example, there will be similarities in Hindu culture. We see Hindus a lot focus on vegetarian food, and we're a pure vegetarian food school. So those are the kind of things which will bring a child in. So in that way, it's a very comfortable and it's one of those kind of environments.
But the values as well. I think the values that we projected was enticing and exciting for those parents. I mean, ironically, those Hindu children, the majority are actually South Indian. So in terms of similarities, in fact, there's a bit of a distance there. So we've got Tamil, we've got Maharashtrian, I think, and we've got a child from, they're from South India. I know that. And in fact, I think maybe one of those children may be Hindu Punjabi. So, in fact, that distance as well was not, you know, was a bit of a difference. But they felt aligned with the values of the school and what the school projected. And then we have an English child, a British-born white child, whose mother quite liked the whole idea of the school. Interestingly enough, those children at the moment in the school who are from different backgrounds haven't opted out of the Sikh studies, which is really interesting because we offer the option of an alternative. But at the moment, they're quite happy to be in those Sikh studies classes, and so we have these Hindu children and this British child learning Santya, Gurbani Santya, which is interesting. At the moment they've opted, they've got the option, and they haven't opted out, which is interesting, and I find that quite. I'm overwhelmed by that.
It's quite humbling. That's what I was going to say.
ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਧਰਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੰਪਰੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਗਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇਟਸ ਰੀਲੀ ਗੁੱਡ
and you know what, I think it's amazing because we didn't have this, well, like you were saying, you know, when we were growing up, how many Sikh schools have we had where and I think, you know, that's where that gap's been. I haven't been able to obviously learn Punjabi fully or lots of things that your parents are there, but in our generation we didn't have that. So the kids nowadays are so lucky that they've got everything really there. It's just about them taking that opportunity to say, actually, I want to learn it all. So, you know, what you're doing is brilliant for the kids out there. And obviously, like Sankaji, if you've got children out there that are from that area and you want to get involved as well, how can they get in touch, with, like, Atam Academy or yourselves? Like, if you could give some details.
I mean, we have a website. They can email us, info@atamacademy.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, you know, we're out there on in the social media.
Of the community, so there'll be,
and Mankamal ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਈ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਲੋਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਪਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ
ਅਸੀਂ ਪਲਾਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ because the size of the school and it's only second term, it's only so at the moment we're still settling down and trying to get everything organized, but in terms of it's an open inclusive school, so SEN children with special needs who are on a healthcare plan, all these children, we're open doors towards them. You know, at the moment we're fortunate that our school has the facilities to support people with disabilities at the moment. We're lucky we're in a good site, in the temporary site, but our main school, Tasveer knows about the new build.
I mean, obviously, you know, we're focused on the intervention on those children, you know, to make sure that they achieve. I mean, for all schools, if the educational backbone isn't strong, then everything else really doesn't add any value as well. So we have to make sure that's a rounded school. It works well, and we focus on those. And again, you know, it is always there's always going to be a bit. Again, the parent will always have a bit more of empathy towards a faith school. They would expect them to do more to go beyond, and you know that's what we hope to do as well. We're not going to take a back step and say, you know, this is as far as we will take it. We will, you know, we will take it. You know.
So if there's a child struggling, as governors, we will do what we can to ensure that the right, as the said, interventions are in place for any child who's struggling with reading, with writing, with maths, that they're supported. Anything through that they're supported. Every child matters. You know, again, that's a statement, and that's a statement that we've made from very early on. Holistic education, and every child matters. Every child is our child. That's how it honestly feels. That's how we see it, and we want to make sure that they have that support all the way through.
And Buddy, I want to know, you're married, obviously have children, and you're busy doing, you know, the school stuff and everything else, and a recognised face in the community. How do you manage your work-life balance? Or do you manage it? Or do I need to speak to Benji to say you need to give more time?
Benji's my backbone. I mean Davinder. Sorry, Davinder is my backbone. My wife is my backbone. I mean, without her and without the support of the children, without the support of my parents, and you know, Tasveer, it is same situation. You know, he's married. He's got a young child as well. You know, it is a lot. But it's like it's part of our DNA. You know, you can't escape it. It's when we came into Sikhi, we thought, well, we've always bought into the idea that giving back to the community is a key part, and without doing that, I don't see what purpose we serve in life. Really,
it's an addiction. That's what I was saying. It's an addiction. I mean, at the end of the day, it's exactly that. If you're not going to be driven to your own personal time to just give something back, and it's not that obviously we're not doing it for you know the mind will, the world will think that it's maybe for some personal gain or anything. There's no personal gain here. I mean, you know, we will never get anything out of this school. Or we would, you know, we've taken it to the point of where we feel that this is just some progression for the community. You know, we're governors, we're non-execs, we're people who will always be there as independent challenge. That's our role. We're independently challenging that school. The school itself has its own structure, its own setup, and for us is to make sure that the ethos of the school remains. So that's what we're there for.
But you know what I really liked, the whole backbone thing that you said about, you know, like your wife being your backbone, that women are really strong, like role models, and you know, like we tend to forget how much support women do give, and they are the backbone, that they work really hard.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਹੋਵੇ। ਜੇ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਕੁਛ ਕਰੇ, ਵਾਈਫ ਕੁਛ ਕਰੇ, ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। ਜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਣਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਦੂਜਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦੀ। ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, ਪਰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਇੱਕ ਆ। ਜੇ ਸੋਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤਾਂ ਆਪੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਇੱਕ ਮਨਕਮਲ ਹੋਰ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਓਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਸਕੂਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੋਲ੍ਹਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਇੱਥੇ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਮਿਕਸ ਹੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ?
ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ comments ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ, and we empathize and sympathize and understand those comments as well. ਤਾਂ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ our aim is the school is open to all. It's a brand new school with brand new facilities coming to the East London that anyone can utilise. But Sanu apne community, it's very challenging working with the Sikh community because Sikh community can be biggest supporter and they can be your biggest threat. And everyone knows that anyone who does seva, from charities right through to Gurdwara sevas, will know will understand my statement here. So you have to work around the opposition, and we were lucky that we didn't have anyone that was really working against us, that felt that it's a project that shouldn't go ahead. Majority of people supported us, they bought into the idea, and the non-Sikhs as well. You know, we thought we may get some threat from or some opposition from secular groups, humanist groups, who have been oppositions to other schools. So far we haven't. We did get a little bit in the early days. Our social media just get trolled a little bit by humanists and secular groups, but they calmed down. I think they got bored. Probably. They couldn't carry on.
Opposition ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਲੋਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚਣੀ ਇਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿਣ ਤੇ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਵਰਗੇ ਬਣਨ।
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੋਚ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੇ they did say that
ਡਿਗਰੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੱਕੀ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਂਭ ਲਿਆ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗਾਂਵ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਲਚਰ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਹਿਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਸੰਭਾਲਣ ਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੰਮਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਰਸਟ ਨਰਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ, ਸੋ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਖਿੱਚਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ।
ਸਾਡੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਲ it's new for our community. So what I felt, and when we were talking, it was like we're actually educating our community about what we can achieve, what we can do. Because we, as a community, you know, we were probably quite comfortable. You know, we're comfortable with the schools which we go to. They're delivering. I mean, Redbridge, where we are, excellent for education. People are moving into Redbridge just for education. The primary schools, the secondary schools, most of the secondary schools are outstanding. So we're in a very competitive environment. So again, it's about where we were, what we were then, the choice we were trying to implement to give that Sikh parent the choice as well, that there is an option here now for you. You've got outstanding schools, you've got brilliant schools, you've got faith schools, and within those faith schools now you've got a Sikh school as well. So there's a long education process. So that 5 years which we've been through, I mean 5 years, you know, it's very daunting. It's very, you know, when you're going out there and you're selling something which isn't there. But once this free school process runs at 100 miles per hour, and, you know, there have been many people who have joined us and many people who have left. It's just the process of it. It's so quick. It's so fast. It's so pressurized. It literally needs turnaround. And that's probably something which probably daunts a lot of individuals and people. For us, it's like a work environment where we can actually deliver those kind of things.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Your time goes by so quick. You know, you could spend so much time talking more and more. But thank you so much for coming on the Sikh Channel and for talking about Atam Academy. And we look forward to welcoming you back in the future as well. So Sangatji, please, if you want to get involved or get in touch with Baji here, please make sure you check out any social media website. They've got a website, Facebook, Twitter, anything. They are on there. Please get in touch and support them in any way that you can. And as we always say as well, Ugly Week, Sunwe, join us next week and give us feedback. Anyway, koi galtiyan vi assi kuch kiya, bhulla chukkan di maafi, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Waheguru ji ka khalsa, Waheguru ji ki fateh.